What's the difference between lust and love? We get them confused. What are your turn-ons? What are your turn-offs? Do you know what really gets you hot under the collar, baby? Are you always dating the person that frankly sucks in bed? Are you and your mate not mating anymore? Do you even know what turns you on? I have that answer. With a date of birth, I can tell you anything. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. Find out your birthday secrets today, available online at secretsofbirthdays.com.
Soul Garden.
Namaste and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Rayman Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your karmic story together. And I have a really happy announcement this week, introducing Zen Shoemaker. She's got her own show called Dear Zen that airs on SG YouTube on Thursdays and on the Mothership. You can write her for practical advice at dearzen@soulgarden.tv. She's funny, she's wise, and she's a psychic coach. You can also be on her show if you want on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern, but check her out at the Mothership and check her out at soulmart.me. We love Zen. She's fabulous. Now, moving into the sun, we're wrapping up the sun in Libra. We're going to go from step 27 to step 29 this week, and then we dive fast into Scorpio with our first breakdown by Sunday. It's going to affect emotional relationships and boundaries, and we have a quantum shift coming on November 3rd. More on that later. The moon begins this week in stable Taurus, then shifts into jumpy Gemini, and then it has a little turbulence as it moves into Cancer because we hop over Black Lilith and Jupiter, but we do end the week in lovely Leo. The moon signs most affected are Taurus moons, Gemini moons, Cancer moons, and Leo moons, and the moons that might go into the dark side are Scorpios, Sag moons, Capricorns, and Aquarius moons. Now, looking at our orbits, man. The moon was in the root chakra, remember, in Aries for that big full moon, and this week it moves through the solar plexus all the way up to the heart. So a lot of digestion issues for a lot of people on Earth. The other planet I want to point out is the Earth itself, which is in the root chakra. Now the Earth is what we are manifesting now. So we've been manifesting a new ego as the sun's been in Libra. But as the sun moves into Scorpio, we'll be manifesting manifestation. That's because the Earth will move to its home chakra, the orange chakra, and that means manifestation will be at a pure point. So the point is we actually manifest more when the sun's in Scorpio than we do when the sun is in Taurus for that reason. Now, looking at the planets, the aspect that most affects us, I think, is this opposition. This is literally ego versus God, and it's an intense transit this week. This might be kind of looked at as the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. Literally, we are tug and pull between the needs of our ego, which is where we're most disconnected, and Neptune, which is where we can be most disconnected or connected. Neptune's just like a modem that logs into anything. So in your horoscopes, I'll be talking about how that opposition affects you. Plus, this square between Pluto and Uranus has reached a massive head. Both planets are at 9 degrees. 9 is an aggressive degree. After all, it's trying to get to 10, right? And this is a fear coming up in your life, probably a long-running fear, and I'll be talking about this fear as well upstairs in your horoscope. And getting a closer look at some planets. Like I said, the moon this week, when it zips through jumpy Gemini, then moves into Cancer and will, boom, bounce off of Black Lilith and Jupiter. That's going to be an emotional kind of moment, if you say, and we'll talk about that on your horoscope as well. So let's get right to it. Let's take the ascension elevator up. Let's go to the 33rd floor at 33,000 feet and get a bird's eye view of you.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Hello, adventurers, and welcome to 33,000 feet and the Sag Risings, whom are also adventurers. In fact, I was just hanging out with a Cancer who has a Sag Rising, which is such a delightful little twist of candy of energy. Beautiful person. Sages I love to death, I can't get enough of, and you guys are really making your play right now in society. Now, this is a play that you thought you had 3 years ago, but then you slipped or lost the football. I don't know why I'm doing a football analogy, but I am for you. And so now it's about really scoring that touchdown, wonka wonka, as we wrap up the sun in Libra. Now, there's been a lot of, inner controversy between moving forward in society, but is your heart satisfied? Are you on the right heart path? And the compromise and the balance between the two. There's also a huge opposition right now between Mars moving into Virgo and Neptune in Pisces. This will be a tug of war for you. It means that your aggressive energy does now shift to what? Career. All right, so you are about to get very aggressive about career, which is likely tied to scoring a touchdown in society and what you're dealing with right now. So the career, though, is versing Neptune about self-nurturing, being there for yourself, being there for yourself emotionally. So it's a career versus emotion tug of war. You're going to feel like going for your career, but you're going to feel more sensitive than ever. And you're going to need a lot of self-nurturing and a lot of self-compassion. Just really being compassionate for your special circumstances in life and just doing it privately with yourself. Now, the square between Uranus and Pluto that I mentioned in the open, this for you is a square or fears that come up between money and personal dreams, where you're afraid that you won't be able to have what your heart wants, or you won't be able to afford it, or will they both work out for each other, or will it be enough, or will the film be funded? Well, the truth is you have to work on funding on one side and the film on the other. You have to work on these independently, and ultimately you have to innovate the way you respond to your own inner child. Some of this is not about getting what you want. It's about you having never gotten what you want. And so you have to disarm the part of you that is just rising up because it hasn't gotten what it wants. I call that the inner brat. And so the inner brat has to step down and be patient yet again, but it does in order for the other healed child to come out and really create a party for everyone, which is Sag is like, yeah, exactly. So that's ultimately where we are. Starting this week, you're moving out of diplomacy and your title, reputation, and the social networking part of it, and now you're moving to innovation. Like, what do you do with the power? What are you doing as queen or as king or as a leader or as CEO or as director? It's like, this is your opportunity. What will you do with it? Now, the sun will give you the opportunity to kind of throw the football and score the touchdown, and that's basically what this week is about. You got a few seconds left in the final hour, and you're going to have to throw it. There's going to be a test of faith on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, the sun goes underground for you guys, and you start focusing on inner spirit and inner faith for a full 30 days. And this is a part of your life, inner spirit, that has rocked your world for some time. The state of Scorpio, which for you is the state of inner faith, so you're either faithful or not. There's really no gray when you're a Sag or Sag rising. But when it comes to that inner faith, there will be a quantum breakdown at some point, and you likely will slip on a banana peel or think you are, or it could be phobia coming through dreams, and you might work through some intense phobia in dreams. But it's time to crack open those fears on the subconscious and let them pour out, because they are not relevant if they're not real. Mercury's in this space. You're already subconscious right now. You're already plowing through that conscious territory. And so it will retrograde right around the point where you have some of a breakdown. So the universe is going to pull the rug out from under you. You can expect the unexpected, Sages and Sag risings. And I'm not trying to be negative. It will not be a surprise when it happens, whatever it is. But it will be finally ready to get rid of whatever it is. We're talking about pulling out a weed in your soul garden, and whatever you have dealt with this entire year, we're talking about not that, but why that happened. This is kind of like an AA, where in people who become sober, there comes a point when you're not fighting to stop drinking anymore. There comes a point when you go, why was I? You get to the bottom. So in your own karmic path, that's where you are. You're at the point where it's like, okay, we know the problems. Why did we have to go through them in the first place? And that's the next stage. So the state of Cancer, which is the state that is expanding at a rapid rate. This is where your home planet is, and I think it's important for you to know wherever your home planet is, maybe should be where you focus, right? So for you guys, you are having to focus on what? Well, frankly, being flexible with emotional boundaries and self, like learning how to be more emotionally flexible, being less rigid within yourself. And this comes from having trust issues with yourself. These trust issues tie into money issues. They tie into success issues. They tie into career hopes and dreams, all this stuff. But now you're at a point with Jupiter at that high degree that you're going to have to really just put your money on the table and trust. And that's it until Jupiter goes retrograde. Black Lilith says that in every manifestation or concoction that you make, you must not stir in the past or doubt. There must be no doubt in any recipes whatsoever that you concoct or make. There must be no doubt in lovemaking. There must be no doubt in intimacy with others. It's time to purify with Black Lilith in that sense, because you are in that sense trying to do some alchemy on the major level with Jupiter, and you don't have time for pollutants in the bottom of consciousness. That makes sense. I know that got to you. So that said, this week, so Jupiter the whole week is saying, keep it, trust in intimacy. You've got to be able to trust yourself. You've got to be able to jump into that faith. Saturn in Scorpio is the story of the inner faith, and it says you're going quantum this week. Mercury retrograde says you're rethinking it. Uranus in Aries at 9 degrees retrograde. This is the story of your inner child. Retrograde means listen to the child. Don't do anything for it yet. Just listen and be there for it that way. But don't try to put it on a bus tour to campaign America right now, because it doesn't want to. Neptune retrograde at 2 degrees is that self-compassion to yourself in the moment, baby that baby. And then finally, Pluto 9 degrees, you'll be happy to hear this, is the moving forward of Sag and Sag risings with abundance and money. And I have to say, you will not be poor ever again. Move forward. You can pass go, you can collect $400, because Sagittariuses are not going to be poor again, I think, in their lifetime. Okay? And that's a bold statement, but I mean, if you've lived long enough as a Sag, you know what poor is. Okay? So use that definition. Now, moving ahead. On Sunday, the moon is in Taurus, and so with the action ruling the day and moving forward, this is likely a day where you might make some sort of a social play on Sunday. All right? Because I think you are, in essence, feeling it, and emotions and manifestation go a long way for you. So you are in the moment, you are focused, and you should probably throw the football and try to score the touchdown, even though it's a Sunday. And at the end of the day, it could be business, it could be social, but at the end of the day, you're really on Sunday leaping for that social title that you've wanted this whole time and that social acclaim. On Monday, it's business as usual, but I have to say that the moon will shift to mirage by the end of the day, and so you want to be careful not to second question yourself or second guess yourself. Again, from Sunday through Tuesday, we're going to just move forward as if everything is going to happen and not have a mistake. So on Monday, there's a propensity to second guess as the moon moves into Gemini. By Tuesday, you're emotionally processing relationship and marriage issues. And so that could be an excuse to self-sabotage the social life or whatever you're going for in society. And you don't want to use that excuse. Again, stay the course. For those watched over by GA, I'll be texting you all day Tuesday, right there by your side, telling you to keep going. On Wednesday, we go down the rabbit hole. So basically, you want to hold faith on whatever the work you've been doing out there in the social world and in the social agenda. You want to get it out there and done and hold that note. And then Wednesday, you go down the rabbit hole. And for you, this is your annual weeding of your subconscious, getting rid of your karma and the weeds, that sort of thing. So Tuesday night through Thursday may be a blur. Be careful about slipping down old negative triggers, old paths. You will definitely see, if nothing else, your shadow will wave to you during this time, and that's the part of this transit where we look at our subconscious, what is underneath shadow, not seen, not revealed. So you look at yourself at some point in the first 10 days of the sun in Scorpio rather harshly. It could be anywhere starting from Wednesday. Harshly is truthfully, truth. So on Thursday, things feel better anyways. So despite that, this is a subconscious. Now, I want to point out, you're looking at weeds and stuff, but where you're going is total inner faith, feeling good about yourself and never questioning again. So Thursday, it's feeling good. And emotions make you kind of private, though, because ultimately, with the moon, and with the sun in Scorpio and with the moon in Cancer, I think you're feeling okay by yourself. But I also think that the moon has now thrown you into your trust and intimacy issues, and it's going to cross over Black Lilith. It's going to cross over your home planet Jupiter. It's going to throw you off in the sense, and it's going to make you have to pull in your boundaries and be there for yourself, right at the same time that Sun in Scorpio is digging in. So although it's a day where the sun comes out to play and there's jolly and a pink heart there, I guess what I'm tripping over my words is, I have to say for you guys, it might be difficult. On Friday, it will be difficult. So the moon definitely rules on Friday. What this will be is probably a bloodletting, where you're kind of like saying, all right, this is what issues are, this is where my vulnerabilities are, this is where I'm afraid. The moon is causing you to step up and be there on a trust issue, maybe on a level that you haven't been able to, and at the same time you're genuinely clearing trust in karma. So really you just got to kind of let it all out. Then again, Saturday, it's like boom, it's like bipolar. Now you're feeling good again. Now Jupiter's ruling the day. Now the moon moves out of trust intimacy and into Leo, so you'll get happy again and star-set, and everything will be jolly. And really on Saturday, what you want to do is explore your interfaith options. Like if you had a hard time this week, do you have support? Is there someone who can help you? Is there an organization that can help you? Like at the end of the day, you're ready to end not having faith in yourself forever. And if you're ready to end it, then Saturday, reach out. Now here's why I'm saying all this, Sag. I love you guys. We're going way late on these scopes because I love you. Because on Sunday, it's the first breakdown. And this might be a quantum breakdown. This might be a surprise, a left punch that you weren't expecting. And that's on this Saturday, it's the 27th. By the way, this is also probably when most people in the United States will celebrate Halloween, because Halloween is on a Thursday. I mean, it's kind of a wishy-washy, so be very careful. You are the one sign that should not be crazy. Now, we do have a solar eclipse coming the following 3rd, which is going to bring out the sun and make it all better, but you got to be careful to get there, okay? So now after telling you to be careful, I'm going to push you out of a plane. We have a little bit of a Soul Mart coming up here, a Soul Mart sponsored prayer shoot where I have a retrograde special, and then at the bottom your Serious Joy toy after this, Sagittarius.
Please put on your prayer chute and prepare for jump.
It's Mercury Retrograde. That means it's time for our soulmart.me Mercury Retrograde sale. Like a 1-hour reading with Christopher Witecki, normally $159, retrogrades back to $95.10. Or try a 15-minute psychic look reading with Zen Shoemaker. She retrogrades down to $45 for a 15-minute reading. Or try the Act 3 Orbits Report. And the Jupiter Gets Emotional retrogrades the same to 1111. At soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement.
Sagittarians and Sag risings, thank you, and I hope you had a nice parachute down. So this is the Serious Joy toy where I come up with an imaginary game for you to play in your head that gets you kind of going down the path. And I don't know if you remember, but we were talking about doing a coming out speech, because this whole month I've been saying, don't sweat society, make your own society. And then I want you to have a coming out speech. Of course, that was the imagination fun thing to do. This week, your Serious Joy toy is, I want you to pretend it's Oscar week until Wednesday. In other words, you're going to have to be on the red carpet. You're going to have to look fabulous. And this is me just saying, honestly, to hold that tone, to pretend and be in that space where it's Oscar week and you just got to look good. And if something happens, you just keep rolling. You're on the air, you just keep rolling. And so I think that's a fun Serious Joy toy for the Sages to play before you deal with your karma and that sort of thing. All right, Sagittarius, thanks so much. My apologies for going late. Hope you didn't ramble. I'll have to look at that. And I will see you in 7 days, or try a retrograde reading. All right, until then, live, love, be. The gift. Right? So it's like, even if it's something ugly, it's like, oh, thank you! Thanks! We did all the pictures for them. It's on their Facebook in 30 seconds. People are already posting and responding to you on your hip. Oh, shit!